The trek back begins. Evan grips the rope with both hands and begins dragging the sled through the snow. His boots crunch with each step, breath labored from exertion. The air is freezing and the temperature is dropping fast. Behind him, silent as a shadow, the bear follows. Not close enough to touch, not far enough to forget. For the first mile, the trail is downhill. Easy. Evan keeps checking on the cub, still breathing. Warmer now, responding faintly. The second mile is harder. They reach the edge of what Evan privately calls the gauntlet, a twisting corridor of frozen marsh, buried rocks, and narrow animal trails. The sled gets caught more than once. Evan trips, twice falling hard onto the ice. The mother watches but doesn't interfere. Snow begins to fall. Light at first, then heavier. The forest dims again. Evan pushes forward, sweat freezing beneath his collar. He talks to the cub as he moves. "You're strong," he says softly. "Stronger than most. Just a little longer, okay?" Behind him, a low grumble answers. The bear, not aggressive, encouraging. By mile 3, the cold is brutal. Evan's legs ache, his fingers are numb. The sled is harder to drag with every step. Then, crack. The ice beneath him shifts. He freezes, looks down. A shallow pond, deceptively snow-covered. He carefully steps back, but it's too late. His right leg plunges through. Icy water surges up his calf, biting deep. The sled tips sideways. The cub slides, but before he can react, the mother bear moves forward with shocking speed. She braces the sled with her body, her enormous paw keeping it from flipping over. Evan scrambles out of the water, gasping. The cold is like needles under his skin. The bear doesn't move away until the sled is steady. Then she backs off, watching him recover. He nods, breathless. "Thanks," he says. She grunts low. Mile 4. Almost there. The snow is now knee-deep in places. Trees thin as they near the edge of the basin where camp waits. The sled drags slower. Evan's soaked boot is almost frozen stiff. His hands barely grip the rope. He stumbles again, and this time doesn't get up right away. He lies in the snow, chest heaving. Stars blur above him. But then, warm breath. The bear. She stands beside him, her breath fogging around his face. Not threatening, just waiting. Evan forces himself up. The cub is still breathing. They can't stop now. Mile 5. The first signal tower comes into view, a metal pole rising through the trees. Then, light. The orange glow of his base camp's perimeter. Evan pulls the sled into the clearing, collapsing to his knees. His team rushes out. 2 researchers and a medic. They freeze at the sight behind him. "A bear!" someone yells, raising a tranquilizer rifle. "No!" Evan roars. "She's with me!" The mother bear stops at the edge of the clearing. She doesn't charge, doesn't growl. She just watches as Evan's team lifts the cub from the sled and rushes it inside. She makes a sound, a soft, low moan, and lowers herself to the ground, waiting. Evan limps beside her, sits in the snow, exhausted, silent, man and bear, still beside each other. And inside the tent, a fragile heartbeat fights on. Evan doesn't think, he acts. With trembling hands, he begins CPR on the cub, whispering the same words he once said to his own child. "Stay with me." He's on autopilot, kneeling on the cold tent floor, the cub stretched out limp beneath him, its breath gone still, heart slowed to a flicker. 2 fingers on its tiny ribcage. Compressions, steady, rhythmic, measured. He tilts its head gently, clears the airway again, and breathes into the cub's mouth. "Stay with me." Another breath, another compression. His hands shake, his body aches, but he doesn't stop. Behind him, the flap of the tent slams open. His team rushes in, flashlights cutting through the shadows, a flood of urgency in their eyes. And behind them, the bear. A gasp breaks out. Jesus, Evan, move! Is that a bear? Is that Evan? He doesn't look up, doesn't break rhythm. She's not going to hurt us, he says, voice hoarse. She brought me here. She brought him here. The mother bear halts at the entrance, head low, breath fogging in the heated air. She takes one step forward, just one, and lowers her body to the floor. Watching. The tension is unbearable. Evan's colleague, Dr. Rena Lark, kneels beside him, checks the cub's pulse. Faint, but still there. Another medic begins warming fluid bags in the emergency heater. A field V is prepped. The cub gives a sudden twitch, a cough, a wheeze of breath. Its chest rises, shallow but consistent. Everyone freezes. The room holds its breath. Then the cub exhales. Weak, raspy, but alive. Evan sinks back on his heels, eyes brimming. The tent is silent except for the steady beep of a portable heart monitor. The mother bear lets out a low, chuffing sound, a call of recognition. Her child still breathes. The team scrambles into motion, setting up emergency equipment. The cub is placed under a radiant heat lamp. A warm air blanket hums to life. Fluids begin flowing through the IV. But the tension hasn't lifted. Not fully. Dr. Felix, the team's wildlife behavior specialist, pulls Evan aside. We need to sedate that bear now before she snaps. She's unpredictable, unstable, a risk to everyone in this camp. Evan shakes his head. No, she's not going to attack. If she wanted to, she would have. She's not a threat, she's a mother, and we're all she's got. That's not protocol. I don't care about protocol, Evan growls. This isn't just observation anymore. This is trust. She's shown us more restraint than any animal I've ever encountered, and maybe more than some people. A tense silence. Felix grits his teeth but backs down. Fine. One step out of line and we drop her. Evan turns back toward the bear. She hasn't moved. He takes a tentative step forward. Raises his hand slowly. No sudden motion. No fear. The bear watches him. Eyes weary. Heartbreaking. Let her stay close, Evan says. She needs to see he's okay. They move the cub into a separate heated isolation tent just behind the main cabin. A soft platform is prepared. Blankets, lamps, a temperature monitor, fluid drips. The mother bear stays outside. She never leaves. For 2 days and 2 nights, she doesn't sleep, doesn't eat, barely moves. She sits just inches from the tent's entrance. Rain falls. Snow collects on her fur. She never flinches. Her ears twitch with every sound the cub makes. Any time the cub cries out, soft whimpers, dry rasps, her head rises. Eyes alert, nose pressed to the fabric. Evan watches her, not from afar, with her. He brings a stool, wraps himself in a thermal blanket, sits beside the bear. Sometimes just breathing, sometimes talking. He tells her stories, of his childhood in Oregon, of tracking elk with his father, of the time his daughter, Clara, fell and broke her arm, and he rode his bike 4 miles through mud to get help. The bear listens, not like a person, but like something ancient that understands pain, loss, hope. One night, as he speaks of Clara, the bear inches closer. Her massive paw stretches forward in the snow, just enough to touch the edge of Evan's boot. Then she leaves it there, still, heavy, gentle, and Evan does the same, one hand out, palm open, resting lightly on that enormous paw. No fear, no threat, just grief, just connection. Rena films it silently from the distance, her hands shaking. Later, she whispers, "This footage, it's going to change everything." Inside the tent, the cub fights, its fever spikes, then drops. Its heartbeat flutters, then stabilizes. There are hours where no one speaks, where Evan and the bear sit in silence. 2 sentinels outside the edge of death. The bear grows weaker. She hasn't eaten in days. She ignores the fish Evan leaves nearby. refuses to leave her spot. One morning, Evan finds her lying flat, sides heaving, snow dusted across her back. She's giving up. "Don't," he says gently. "You've come too far." He drags a sealed pack of warm salmon to her side, opens it, leaves it there, and finally, she eats. Just a little, slowly, but she eats. Evan exhales in relief. He doesn't say anything, just smiles. On the third day, the cub opens its eyes. Fully, clearly. It sees light. It sees her. It lets out a single, raspy squeal. Outside, the bear rises to her feet for the first time in hours. Evan unzips the tent flap slowly. Looks at Rena. She nods. He steps back. The mother bear steps forward, peering in. The cub squeals again, louder this time. A recognition. The mother chuffs softly. She doesn't enter. She just watches. But her body eases. Her eyes brighten. Evan swears he sees it. Hope. The team continues filming, documenting every moment. By evening, the cub can sit up, feed from a syringe, and for the first time, Evan lets himself cry. The bear turns to him. He swears she understands. Not like a pet, not like an animal, but like a mother who's finally seen her child come back from the edge. And Evan, the man who thought he was done believing in miracles, starts to believe again.